Hey, aviators, you're in the holding pattern. We're gonna get Karen the Red Baron right behind me. We're gonna get her dragged out, get her pre-flighted, get her ready to go. We're gonna fly down to LBX. We're gonna meet about 15 other aviators down there. We're gonna check out some of the other works we did on the avionics, and we'll get back to you with some in-flight video. See you later.
Well, this morning we've got Mark Magic Johnson at the controls, PIC, former F-16 U.S. Air Force Viper driver. And in the right seat, pilot monitoring, will be Luke Moses. Luke is a CFII at Coastal Skies Aviation out of Pearland here in Texas. He's going to experience flying Karen the Red Baron for the first time today, so we're going to let him get a little experience, and I'm going to hang in the back seat and film over their shoulder and give you guys a little voiceover when it makes some sense. Obviously, you can see that Mark and Luke are completing the pre-takeoff checklist. They've already done the run-up to exercise the props, make sure they feather properly, make sure the engines do idle. They're now ensuring the doors and windows are locked, seat belts are on, that the trim is in the correct position, and then also they're going over the procedures that Mark likes to ensure in case we do lose an engine on takeoff. And so let's sit back and let's get into the air and enjoy Karen the Red Baron at full throttle.
So I take off in everything I fly, small airplanes, big airplanes, jets, single engine, it doesn't matter. I'd rather have an extra 10 miles an hour taking the runway knots than any altitude. So especially in the twin world. But I'll take off, you see, I'll stop the brakes, stop the tires, the brakes, I'll get the gear up, and stay really flat, and get the blue line plus button. You see anything going on or weird, anything over there, let me know what it is, and then I'll make a decision on the recording. Alright. Seatbelts on in the back, windows latched.
Might be able to tell that we are just now getting to the end of the runway. Airspeed has already climbed above 120 knots, which is certainly 20 knots or so above the VMC blue line, and that is the Mark Magic Johnson method. He would prefer to have 10 knots of extra airspeed when he gets to the end of the runway. In case there is an engine issue, then there's enough time to react to get the plane cleaned up enough to still have maneuvering speed and then decide what you're going to do from there versus having only one option, which is to land straight ahead into some field or whatever. Well, to make the flight more interesting, Luke and Mark decided to set up for an RNAV GPS approach to KLBX, runway 35. So they're dialing in on the 530 WAS, the first leg to Norwo, then to ACL, and then descending to 1,500 feet into Indon, and then back down to 35. So we'll let them shoot this approach, and I'll update you here when they get back on the glide slope. So we're at the place in the flight where we need to get the plane slowed down enough to get the gear down. They are on the glide path at 1,500 feet for this RNAV approach. So manifold pressure gets down to around 18 inches or so. Leave the props somewhere around 2,300, and that'll drag you down to around 153 or so, which you can drop the gear, which will pull the plane down closer to the white arc to allow you to get some flaps in, and we will watch that process. With the glide slope established into runway 35, it's now time to get the gear down. So we're below 153. When you see the gear come down, you'll see the 3 green lights, and of course, Magic will check for 1 in the mirror. That also drags the plane's speed down to the top of the white arc, which allows you to start getting some flaps in. This plane seeks blue line with the gear down and some flaps out, which is a perfect stabilized approach at 3 degrees, particularly when you're on an RNAV approach, which presumably you couldn't see anything, and you want the plane slowed down, but you don't want it too slow. So Luke's doing a bang-up job keeping the plane on a perfect 3-degree glide slope. He's on final now. You will see Magic take over about 500 feet since this is Luke's first time in the airplane. He will follow along and feel what it's like to round out in a Baron at the approach speeds of a twin engine that weighs 5,000 pounds. And then the next time up in carrying the Red Baron, he might be up for a try to land it himself. So let's watch how an F-16 driver slicks carrying the Red Baron onto this runway, and then we'll taxi in. We'll meet all the other aviators, have a delicious lunch at the cafe there, which I highly recommend, at KLBX, Texas Gulf Regional Airport, and we'll get back to you when we get back in the air. I did want to point out that Mark likes to leave the RPMs at 2,300, and you can see he's just pushed them up to full high speed, as well as the mixture when the runway's assured. This might be slightly different than the Baron Pilot or Skyline Pilot. However, you can go around at 2,300, and Mark doesn't mind doing it right when he passes over the fence. Some people like to do it a lot earlier so that they have less to think about. It's all personal preference. I would like to give a shout out to the Runway Cafe. It's excellent. Well, we had a delicious lunch with fresh redfish and, of course, egg rolls because they have great Oriental food here. I'm going to get saddled up, get geared up, and Magic is going to go ahead and taxi out and perform his checks. I will be pilot monitoring and do a little flying myself.
All's on. Luke, you on?
Yes, sir.
Back there?
Sir.
Let me see, check. Loud and clear. Got you back. Check. All right. Got you loud and clear. All right, second run of the day. Definitely want to check flight controls. Now see, this is what I always try to teach people, low time to high time guys. But look, if the elevator moves the nose that much, and we're even taxiing downwind, that elevator is actually pretty effective.
Okay. So taxi light on. If we.
Yeah, if they're not LED, I try not to burn them.
All right. Well, you don't have to then. So, let's see. Got left wing, left. Good. Don't need aux pumps. Over 90 degrees, you do some.
I checked mags just while taxiing out. I checked the props. Got the trim set. We got the cow flaps open. I'll be ready at the end if you guys are ready.
We're ready. So we're warmed up. We got.
They were warm when we started.
Yeah, right. No power set.
Get that door and those windows, and I'll get out of here. Nice.
Door is secure.
Looks like Luke got that. All right. Texas Gulf Coast traffic bearing 4449 Sierra, departing runway 17, Texas Gulf Coast.
Looking
Okay,
good. The
mixers are
instruments.
forward, props are forward.
And I say 7, runway's clear. Gauges are in the green.
Airspeed's alive. There's 80, there's red line.
Coming up. Here shows up. And we're still in the green.
Blue line. Oh, we just go back over the top.
So there is one plane. Off for 2 o'clock maybe.
We'll come back to 2525.
See this crossover midfield is basically below pattern
low,
altitude.
less than 1 mile.
Someone's got to be landing.
Got somebody on the taxiway or cranking up. Yeah.
It's just that Belanca. And we're still showing.
All right, you ready to fly?
All right.
You got the controls.
So we are.
Just kind of head out towards the coastline and that's probably a little nose high. Just put it where you can see. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of right rudder, just like you do in the Cherokee. I'll give you about 25 for the climb. Going to back to LVJ whenever you're ready. How was y'all's lunch?
Delicious.
Good food? Good. Temperatures, pressure, quantities all look good. As you see, those are a little out of sight, out of mind over there. Hard
They
to
are,
see.
really.
What a lot of people do will put a nice big, engine monitor right there, and it gets rid of all that stuff and all of that stuff.
So we're still outside the Bravo.
Yes, sir.
Going the wrong different So the bottom of these clouds look like about 3,000 or 4,000.
Let's go see.
About 12 miles northwest, joining RNAV runway 1.
Maybe 5 or 6 actually. Stay on that right rudder, maybe just a hair more. There you go. Does it have a fire extinguisher in it?
Yeah, it does.
All right, good. Has pressure in it? I should have checked that the very first time I flew it. But I some reason I've had one buddy for sure, and I've known of one airplane that landed it where my grass strip is that was on fire. Like, that's something I really don't want to have.
No, and I think it's another thing that I did check.
Yeah, there's that gauge even in.
Yeah. Yeah, if you knock on it, it goes back. It's the gauge itself, I think.
I think you might be right.
I have a spare one, so I'm going to try.
How the hell did you end up with a spare one?
We brought a lot of spares on this plane.
Oh, okay.
I had a spare one of those. That's a brand new one in there. Never been on once.
He's going to go 1500, 12 miles north, RNAV runway 16, circle line runway 34, full stop to.
Cleveland traffic, 796 uniform, left crosswind, 34, full stop, Cleveland.
So when you're doing your scan, you're just scanning everything?
If I'm not flying on instruments, if I'm doing instruments, I'm concentrating.
Did you say 4 miles?
You know, I'm concentrating here basically in this 6.
We are,
If I'm looking at engine stuff, I kind of start here, see how warm the EGTs are.
Right.
I can lean out the left one a little bit.
we'll be circle line 34, full stop.
And then you just want to make sure those guys are all in the green.
They are. This one always runs about right there, and this one runs a little lower. They don't ever seem to get over the 3.6 mark much.
Cleveland traffic, 796 uniform.
I think you were right. About 4,000 is probably at the base.
And Gulf Coast traffic, Satavia 187 Romeo Alpha is taking off runway 17, right turnout for departure to the northwest. This is Gulf Coast.
Have a good one, Scott. That was a 2005 model Satavia, he said, with only with 300 hours on it.
How many hours?
300?
Oh, wow.
Like a brand new airplane. What he did, he sent a letter to everybody that was registered that had Satabrias and the category he was looking for. And then he even went on FlightAware and made sure the letters went to the people that weren't actively flying.
Yeah.
This guy reached out to him a couple different times. Not ready to sell, but are you still looking the next time? And then the third time, I think I'm ready to sell it.
So 4,500, we need much?
Yeah, 6,000 will be cooler.
Right.
I don't know if it's good or bad to go from hot, cool you off, tease us, and then we go back to hot, but
I'll take all the cool air we can.
yeah. I'm always amazed, you know, there's so many different walks of life, but all of this this oil and freighting and ocean life is definitely a world I don't know hardly anything about.
I know the electrical side of it.
Boat side or the shore side?
Shore side.
My other half of my family's in maritime.
Your family was maritime?
Yeah. My brother's in maritime, and then my fiance's family's all in maritime.
You're getting smarter on it, huh?
Yeah.
There's the left one that's back, but I think they're pretty much at the stops. But you know, manifold's manifold pressure, so I have a feeling that's more of the indication, because they should be given the same amount, unless there's some restriction on the airflow.
Traffic says 96 uniform.
I don't know, you know,
This doesn't even have alternate airs on this one, does it?
It does. It's over the far left. I don't know, so I don't want to say something. Yeah.
Cabin air. Sure, it has alternate airs. I think they're automatic on this model. Flies it pretty good, doesn't he? He's been watching a few of us fly, I think, over the years. Owned it for how long? Has it even been a year?
No.
And then we can set them to about 23 inches, 22 or 23 inches. 2300 RPM since we're not really going anywhere.
Tell you what, it's the most comfortable backseat of an airplane I've been in.
Not bad back there, is it? Hold these back to about 2300.